All right, thanks all for joining today. I'm Pradeep Anandapu. I'm part of the product partnerships team here at Databricks.
Hey, I'm Ajay Golapalli. I'm a lead technical director in Informatica for the entire partnership with Databricks and Informatica.
So I'm here to briefly talk about Informatica and Databricks partnership, how Informatica adds value on top of Databricks, and a glimpse of what Informatica team has been working on from a product integration standpoint. After which I'll pass it on to Ajay. He's going to show you a cool demo of their product. So here's the state of the partnership today. We have more than 160 joint customers. Informatica is now the top 3 fastest growing ISV on Databricks. And they won the Data Integration Partner of the Year this year. So give them a round of applause.
Thank you.
So how does Informatica add value on top of Databricks, right? So, most of you might have seen the Databricks Data Intelligence platform. You're going to be hearing about it much more during this conference. But Informatica Data Management Cloud that you see on your left-hand side, they offer end-to-end suite of product capabilities on top of Databricks platform, enabling no-code, low-code persona who can now leverage the power of Databricks platform. So that's the persona Databricks traditionally doesn't cater to. And Informatica has a lot of professionals that are basically trained on their product suite, and now they can leverage the power of Databricks. Today's session is about these 3 products. Tomorrow, there is another session we're going to cover other products within their product suite. So Data Catalog, Cloud Data Marketplace, Governance and Privacy. And Ajay is going to cover some additional details about these products as well, and then that's the demo he's going to be walking you through. But let me give you a high level from a Databricks point of view. Informatica has about more than 100 integrations to all your apps, data sources, and tools across your enterprise, right? So, of course, including Databricks. So Data Catalog, for example, is basically a catalog of catalogs, right? We have a Unity Catalog that's basically a technical catalog, but Informatica gets all that metadata and builds a catalog of catalogs for all your tools across your enterprise. It also includes business level and technical level lineage, which gives you end-to-end enterprise level visibility into what systems and assets your data is moving through. So within Databricks, you may hear much more about Unity Catalog lineage. It's more about technical lineage for data moving through Databricks. But what Informatica does is with all the connectors that it has, it's able to give you an end-to-end lineage view for the data moving from your applications to the downstream BI applications, AI applications, right? So that's what they do. And Data Marketplace lets you share data within enterprise across all your platforms. Doesn't matter if the user is on Databricks or not, they can enable that your data products across your organization. And Governance and Privacy enables enterprise-level governance workflows and access controls for your data. So they can push down access controls, et cetera, and also enable governance workflows on top of Databricks. So for example, they can cater to a persona like a data steward or a privacy manager or someone like that. So coming to the product integration roadmap, here's a glimpse of what Informatica team has been working on from a product integration standpoint in a tight collaboration with our team. So we actually jump on a call like almost every week now. We have a very tight collaboration from an integration standpoint. We try to get into basically all the Informatica product suite, making it work on Databricks with the most optimized way possible. So that's the collaboration that we have today. Firstly, we are announcing today that Informatica on Databricks Partner Connect is now GA, which means Databricks users can now seamlessly connect to Informatica Cloud right from Databricks Workspace. When Databricks customers who are new to Informatica and they want to try it out, they can just click on a Partner Connect tile. It's actually on the workspace of Databricks, and Informatica basically creates a new free tier Informatica org automatically, and the Databricks connection is automatically configured so the user can directly experience Informatica with Databricks right off the bat. And it's I think it doesn't even take like maybe 30 seconds for the entire flow. So it's pretty amazing. So Informatica Cloud Data Governance and Catalog product now supports Unity Catalog, which means it's able to extract metadata, richer metadata from Unity Catalog, and it's also able to extract lineage information with much better coverage on Databricks platform. Previously, they used to get into the Databricks platform, parse stuff out to get the lineage information, but now because of Unity Catalog already giving that lineage, making it available, Informatica is able to get that better coverage lineage data from Databricks today. With Cloud Data Marketplace, Databricks assets are now available to all your users across your enterprise, integrated with the shopping experience that they have, which Ajay is going to show, which is pretty cool. Informatica team is planning to expand these integrations to AI assets, right? So it's all about, this conference is all about data and AI. So they're going to be expanding all these integrations across their product suite for all the AI assets, such as models, volumes, vector indices, like any other AI objects that do come into picture. We support through Unity Catalog. They're going to support through their products. And And they're also planning to include Delta sharing as part of the cloud marketplace shopping experience. So you can directly do Delta sharing to any of your internal consumer. Again, it's an internal data marketplace, so org to org sharing, etc. It can happen through Delta sharing. So they don't need to really copy the data over. They can just access it through Delta sharing directly. And of course, much more. But we don't have that much time. This is a lightning talk, so we gotta move quick. That's my time, and Ajay is going to cover the rest of the part. Yeah.
Hey, thanks so much, Pradeep. Appreciate it. So we all know, if you think about governance, right? Every catalog in governance product today talks about risk and compliance. Well, risk and compliance is completely essential. How Informatica addresses the entire governance and catalog is with 3 pillars. The first pillar is risk and compliance, which is mandatory. The second one is the data democratization. So what happens with data democratization is, if you think about in any enterprise scenario, the most critical problem is that accessing the data, what is governed. It's not very simple. If you take up on a real-time example, the person has to go, an analyst has to ask for permissions with the business owner. The business has to approve to access the data. Then they will have to go to the technical owner, and then the technical owner has to approve it, and then someone in the technical team will require it to be available for the user in the technical preference of choice. There might be a SQL table will be available as a SQL view, a Databricks table will be available as a Databricks view, and so on and so forth, right? It's not simple on what, as an analyst, I'm comfortable with, I don't get the data. So Informatica makes it much more simpler. That's the second thing. The third thing is data observability and quality. So every time we look at the data as a CEO or a CDO, I want to know how good my data is. Is my data fit enough for me to take a decision? Is my data the worthy data to take some kind of an analytical decisions? So those are the third things I will know from my data itself in through governance and catalog tool, where I'll be able to see validity, completeness. Is my data skewed? Is my data filled? Is my data null values? All this information comes together in the data catalog and governance tool. All this is possible. It is not possible without AI. So all this is made possible with something called as a CLAIRE. CLAIRE is Informatica's AI engine, developed with more than hundreds of microservices. This has been in production for the last 6 years. Customers have been enjoying this CLAIRE because CLAIRE provides not only insights, CLAIRE provides rules, insights, automated way of based upon what metadata we have. We do probably 95 trillion transactions a month of processing of data. So Informatica collects all those metadata information and has a metadata repository for every single customer. So based upon the metadata repository and CLAIRE, we kind of provide the data recommendations. We understand the quality of data, how the quality of data should be available for enterprises so that they know what rules can be automated, but what rules can be augmented. Because these rules are based upon industry, the domains, the enterprise company, the kind of product it is. So CLAIRE provides the provisions to add more and more rules and also provides automated rules. CLAIRE also supports marketplace through knowing who is the right person requesting for the data. For example, if a salesperson comes and asks for financial data, Claire blocks the data and does not provide the fettered authentication mechanism. And Claire will route the conversation, route the request through the business owner, and they can decide whether the person requesting for data can be valid or not. But if it's a fettered authenticated user, if the sales analyst wants to get a sales data, automatically Claire allows them to provide the data for their usage. So that way Claire becomes brilliant enough to augment your organization policies, so that Claire also knows what data, where, who's the right person, right purpose, and the right use cases. Claire provides all of those informations. Don't trust me. I'll show it as a demo. So this is data marketplace. So this is data marketplace. So in the data marketplace, what you see is, as a consumer, as an analyst of data, right? I want to see what are the different categories of data are available. I see here there are multiple categories, some saying about reports, some saying about forecasts, some saying about customer turnover reports and customer churn data. And we can go on, keep on going for back and forth on what data we need. So for example, let's pick an example of customer churn data. I want to provide a prediction analysis in Databricks to find out how many customers are getting churned and what is my churn going to be in the next 24 months. That's a hypothetical situation, right? So we can look at the customer churn report data and then see where the data is coming from. We can say the data's default delivery, it says Databricks Unity Catalog. So now the data, I know that data is somewhere located. I do not know where it is located yet, but yet I know that the data is a default delivery mechanism for a consumer, is a Databricks Unity Catalog based data records. So now I can also see different data assets, what this data is made of. And I see that different data is based upon a customer churn data, and I see that the customer churn data set, which I'm going to provide my analytics, is coming from a cataloged system. So it provides a catalog system, and I know that it's coming from within the Databricks environment itself. So that makes, as an analyst, my life a little bit easy. So I can know that the data is coming from a trusted, governed system itself. No, but I'm going to look at what this data contains. I want to know more details about what this data, how many fields, what are these fields? These fields are they worthy enough for me to utilize this data for my analytics? And bear with me, this is all happening live. So if it slows down, blame it on the internet. So it will be able to showcase what this customer data looks like. And there are multiple columns of data that is essential for me to take a look at the data itself. But I want to see where is the data coming from a lineage perspective. From a lineage perspective, I know this data is coming from Databricks, because that is evident, right? We are in a Databricks conference. And we also provide, we will be able to provide not only catalog the data based upon Unity Catalog, we don't only govern the data, but we also govern the notebooks within the Databricks environment. So we know if a notebook changes a particular cell of a data, if the data gets changed by a cell, we also tag that particular cell to show the lineage, not only from point A to point B mechanism, but we also say point A to point B, who did it. Because in the impact analysis, you want to know who did it becomes more important, because when the data changes from A to B, and if you know which notebook is impacting the data, and when you make a change to the notebook, you already know what kind of impact analysis you are expecting it to be. Now I can also apply on top of it various parameters. I can say what is the quality looks like, what is the observability look like. These are all business names. So is it all certified? Does it have an impact? Does it have a policy in place? So for example, you can choose whether the data has any kind of policy or a process. I can say what is the business impact on the data, and then I can apply it. And automatically it provides you saying, okay, look, the data comes from the Unity Catalog, which is a PII data. And when you move it to the Delta Lake for building your reports, it's going to be impacting with the PII data. That means as an analyst, when I'm checking out my data, I need to make sure the data is PII certified. So similarly, I can expand the hoops. I can expand where the data is coming from. And I can expand all the way to the lineage to provide a detailed lineage of where the data started to where the data is being consumed. So I know, for example, where the data has been identified as personally identified data. I can identify it. I can also do identification based upon the data set, data element level. So for example, let me minimize this a bit. So I can say I want to know element level of data so that I can know where if any element has been changed or element has been added to the entire data set, if it happened on hop 1, hop 2 or hop 3. I have a complete detailed lineage of the data and I know the impact analysis. I'm adding glossary to that. I'm providing a semantic search on top of the data. In an enterprise, think about if an enterprise, your order system, your supplier system, your vendor system, your HR system, they're all different systems but have common overlapping names, and this will qualify those names, and you can still do analytics on top of it by adding more columns and modifying many columns, and you'll have the entire impact analysis created for you. Now that I know this data is fit enough for me to consume, I'm going to go back to marketplace and I'll be able to check out the data in a real checkout mechanism like an online shopping experience. You're taking an enterprise data and I'm saying like, okay, I need this data. Let me go back to the data set where I can say, I need this data, I want to check out this data, and I can say, where do I delivery mechanism, where do I want to deliver? So my preference is to be in Databricks so that I can do my prediction analytics, I can write my notebook with my AI model on top of it and then get the data to perfect my model. So this is what happens within the entire marketplace checkout experience. And then I will say, what is my terms of use? I can say this contains PII data, this is personally identifiable, and I need to make sure the data is not available to everybody and anybody. I need to safeguard the data. And I can say, I want to check it out now. So I'm going to check out the data and I can say, why am I checking out for? I can say, I want to check out because I want to do some analytics on top of it. I want to build an analytics. And then I will say this, I want this to be part of the Unity Catalog. And I'm able to see all this information here, whether it's AWS or Azure or which part of the system that I need to move the data. I can entirely build an enterprise level data set and data analytics. And with this data, what we are doing is we are able to now, what we did is catalog the data, govern it, provide the required credibility on the data itself to make it trusted, high quality, and usage for analytics in an online checkout experience. That's what we saw right now. So one question that comes up often is like, how do we add value, right? There is a metadata catalog with Unity. There is a metadata catalog with CDGC, the Cloud Data Governance tool. How do we add value? You have to think about an enterprise in your systems where data comes from your on-prem environments, where your data comes from a SaaS solutions, from hybrid solutions, multiple clouds, AWS, Azure, and GCP. There are a lot of infrastructure in your organization. So what Informatica does is to bring everything together under a single umbrella from a catalog experience, providing you the metadata management, and providing you a consistent business glossary. So a customer name in system CRM, a customer name in your MDM, a customer name in your Databricks churn application is actually a customer name everywhere, even though they are technically called as C_01 in one place, T_02 in one place, and it could be just a name in other place. But providing that kind of a business glossary helps you to understand what name it contains. And also providing that kind of impact analysis, what we saw, right? The impact analysis, whether you are utilizing Databricks or notebooks to change the data. When you want to change the code, you are able to do a quick impact analysis to know what is my transportation mechanism, how do we do this? And you're also able to apply policies, enforcement, and collaboration, communication of everything over there. With this, we also announced the availability of a blueprint. How do we work with DBRX? There is a powerful demo going on in our booth. Just next to the Databricks booth is our booth. Visit us and I'll be able to walk you through the entire chain, our RAG chain, how we built it, and how we are supporting data engineering with Gen AI solutions, taking your enterprise MDM or taking your enterprise data to be available as part of the Databricks DBRX. And last but not least, 3 pillars: governance, risk and compliance, data democratization, data observability. Thank you so much for watching us today.
All right.